The New York Jets have a star in the making in a day 3 wide receiver pick, and Aaron Glenn already knows exactly how he's going to use him. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, only 39.8% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But hopping into the video that we got for today from Sports Illustrated, Fansided's Mike Phillips recently called Jets wide receiver Arian Smith one of the steals of the draft and suggested he could emerge as a wide receiver 2 in New York. One of the few question marks on the roster is at wide receiver, where the team has been looking to find a number 2 wide receiver to play opposite the recently extended Garrett Wilson, Phillips wrote. While veterans Josh Reynolds and Allen Lazard entered camp as the favorites to claim that role, they are being pushed hard by rookie Arian Smith. New York took the speedy Georgia receiver in the 4th round of the draft, and he has turned heads at training camp with his propensity for making big plays. Now, if you watch college football over the past couple of years, you definitely know who Arian Smith is. He is he plays for the Georgia Bulldogs. He was one of their top wide receivers. Everyone who watches college football knows about Georgia, 2-time champions while Arian Smith was on the team. The problem that he has had in his college career, he has been plagued by drops. His drop rate is something crazy. It's like 11%. It's a number that I've never seen that high before ever. And when you watch him, that was the only thing I personally remembered about him when watching Georgia. When we drafted him, I was like, yeah, this guy can't catch it all. But it seems that he is currently turning a corner with the New York Jets and now playing better. More from Sports Illustrated, they wrote, Smith wasn't looked at as a potential option at wide receiver 2 until he began to turn heads at Jets training camp. Smith is known for his speed, which is always going to be a trait that helps him dominate, but his route running ability and hands have impressed this offseason too. Justin Fields has been connecting with Smith early and often during offensive drills during training camp. If Fields begins to develop this connection with the young rookie, he could become a staple in the New York Jets offense going forwards. Now, we know Justin Fields struggles with the shorter stuff, but the long passing is actually the best part of his passing game. So Justin Fields is a good fit with Arian Smith as a deep threat. If we wanted to go ahead and take a look at his statistics from Georgia, put up, broke out as a 5th-year super senior. Before that, never went over 200 yards, but I mean, better late than never. Puts up a massive, where is his yards per reception here? 60 yards per game isn't that crazy, but his yards per reception is where he is absolutely going to shine, because this is a deep threat, a take the top off the defense kind of player. And I alluded in the beginning of the video that Aaron Glenn has an exact idea how he's going to be using Arian Smith, and he talked to the media a while ago, said he's going to use him like they use Quinnen Williams with the Detroit Lions. Now, if you watch the Detroit Lions, you know Quinnen Williams was a wide receiver taken the same year as Garrett Wilson. He was taken 12th overall, 1 spot behind Chris Olave. He was coming off of a torn ACL, which is really bad for a player with, they dubbed him ludicrous speed on draft night when they put up everyone's, stats about the drafted player. Literally just, it wasn't even a number. It just said ludicrous speed next to Quinnen Williams. That's what Arian Smith also brings to the table. And if we want to try to picture what his role would look like, we can look at, I'm not saying Arian Smith is going to be anywhere near as good as Quinnen Williams, but what we do want to look at with Quinnen Williams' stats are the yards per reception. Quinnen Williams putting up 17.3 yards per reception, and only caught 58 passes, but put up over 1,000 yards on the season. That is pretty impressive, and that's the type of style that we can expect Arian Smith to bring to the table when he is, playing with the New York Jets. So he would be running those clear out routes. He would be running the go routes just to get safeties out of the way, get linebackers out of the way, to get Garrett Wilson open underneath. But it's still something that every team needs to have. Every team needs to have a guy who can run routes like that. It's good to see that he is having a really good training camp. Pro Football Focus actually dubbed Arian Smith as the biggest reach of the entire draft. So it would be nice to prove those guys wrong. If it's a Jet, if it's another team, then, I hope they're right. But when they put a New York Jet, give a New York Jet that distinction, we of course want to see our guy prove them wrong. Now, Arian Smith is a good fit with Garrett Wilson because Garrett Wilson is not going to be running those clear out routes, those go balls. Garrett Wilson, we want to pepper Garrett Wilson with targets underneath while Arian Smith takes the top off the defense. And then he would be on some peak routes for Justin Fields. So he would snap the ball and just look at Arian Smith and say, did he completely blow his guy away, yes or no? And if yes, you're going to throw it to him. If no, you're just going to go through your progressions as you normally would on that play. But this is a guy who, like I said before, really can fit in with what Justin Fields wants to do, because while Justin Fields' shorter game is not extremely accurate, his long game, those passes are above average, which is, very, very good. We want to look for Justin Fields to increase that connection with our wide receivers going deep even better. Now, let's talk about how Arian Smith is up against Josh Reynolds currently as the wide receiver 2, that battle for the New York Jets. Currently, Josh Reynolds is the favorite, and he's still the guy that I expect to be the wide receiver 2, but Josh Reynolds also is going to be running those deep routes, but he doesn't have the speed that Arian Smith brings to the table, and they say it for a reason. You can't teach speed. That's why you got to go ahead and draft Arian Smith ahead of where most draft analysts actually had him prepared to be drafted. So his ceiling I guess he could always finish as that wide receiver 2 at the end of the preseason going into the regular season. We know that, this regime, Aaron Glenn, he wants to play the younger guys, and Josh Reynolds is certainly not a younger guy. So if Arian Smith and Josh Reynolds are back-to-back, if there isn't really a difference in talent level between the two wide receivers, Arian Smith is going to get the nod because there's a chance that he develops, since he is on a 4-year contract with the New York Jets, not a 1-year contract. Should Arian Smith break out, you would have him for 3 more years, and you could build something more with Arian Smith. So that is the reason why he has a little bit of a leg up over Josh Reynolds, but Josh Reynolds still has the fact that he is a veteran, the fact that he has all his NFL experience. He is, at this point, better. Arian Smith, we heard that he had to work on his route running as well as the hands, but it's good to see that he is overcoming all of these things. Me personally, I was not able to procure any tickets to Jets training camp, so I've not seen Arian Smith personally after Georgia. So I am reserving my personal thoughts on, is this guy actually going to go crazy until I want to actually see him in preseason games. I want to see, are his hands actually better? Because this guy was open a lot at Georgia and just could not hang on to the football. Like I said, that 11-ish% drop rate is absolutely inexcusable. And Carson Beck throws a highly catchable football in terms of college quarterbacks, at least. So I will be definitely judging him when the preseason games come, starting with the Green Bay Packers in about a week? Well, that's going to be Saturday. So less than a week from today, we will have our first opportunity to finally see all of our new New York Jets on the football field in their first preseason game. Absolutely can't wait for that. We're going to have a ton of videos before that and a ton of videos about that game. But if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and go Jets.